Hi guys, welcome back. I hope you're doing well. I've been doing better myself as well. And in the back scene, even if you haven't seen a lot of videos from me lately, I've been working on my comp and I want to talk about that in this video today because we are still on the shift challenge, but in 2 days and few hours time, we're gonna jump basically on the other world. There's a banner over here announcing that in 2 days and 17 hours, the other world exploration will start. And obviously that will change the way we play the bosses. We're gonna switch from a more score focus approach to a number approach. We're gonna have to build a lot of teams that will do 22 million. And I want to talk about that in this video because I've used this week to prepare for next week for myself because I will be traveling a little bit in the beginning of the week, so I might not be able to focus too much on content and my comps in particular to try to climb the psychic core and the leaderboard. So I haven't done any of my boss yet this week, but I've been working on optimizing gear and strategy, pushing the scores of each team as much as possible to be able to rank even for the last week and get a little bit more rewards that are going to be useful for the game going forward. And on a side, I have basically been building my 15 teams, and you can see up down here, and saving them and gearing them and testing and see what they can do. And so we start from the first one, which is this one over here. I've been building my first team, which is a fire team with Garius, Tia for the decreased defense, Tonerlon as a DPS, Vika to deal with the buff from the boss, and then I brought in Nissa, mostly because she has an aura that can be useful for me. I'm trying to get in and do as much damage as possible in the smallest amount of time. And so this team can do 22 million pretty fast. I believe is only 2 minutes and a half, really. If I want, or if I see that anything is going to be a bit more difficult, I can build up Nisa to help a little bit, but probably it's not going to be needed in 2 minutes and a half. A half is half of the time we have. The team was still alive when I stopped the run, and so I'm pretty confident that this will do 22 millions, even considering the buff and the boss might have for the other words. But we also going to have buff on the other side, so that will help too. And I'm gonna be able to tweak the timing and everything once we're gonna have the skill haste buff and everything, and this will do easily 22 million. This boss is pretty easy, to be honest. You only have to deal with the buff he takes, and if you can remove them or block them, you're basically done. So I built 3 teams for him. The second one, it's basically quite similar. I'm using Isolde and I'm trying to shield and place a little bit of decreased defense on her, and I'm using fully to activate basically Erichi. She is the decreased defense champion, and she will basically proc wild, so Erich will do more damage. He's my main DPS in this case. I have Lyko to block the buff basically. She's not scrolled, where she has this one buff removal and buff prohibition, and so even if she doesn't keep up with the boss, she will keep basically doing the skills and removing one of the boss and blocking the buff and blocking the rest of them. I've not basically, I don't need to use one of those artifacts, magical artifact to remove buff. I didn't find it useful. This team can do basically the 22 millions over 3 minutes and a half roughly. So it does the job, and I don't have to stress much about it, basically. Just quickly, before we jump to the next one, I want to show you how I handle gear as well, so it might be useful for you. Actually, I've used a piece of that on her. So there are 2 buffs, she removed them both, basically. Sorry, I forgot about it. I use a tunnel kill cloak on her, so she does basically remove 2 of them. So basically, I've created a set of sets that are basically useful across the board when I build my champions. I have 2 DPS, which are raw power DPS. I have a decreased defense one, which I have higher accuracy, usually enough accuracy to reach the point where I can place a decreased defense. Then I have an accuracy DPS built around the slingshot, basically. If I need someone that basically plays debuff and still need to do a lot of damage, I use this one. I have an Enlightenment DPS set, which is usually what I use on Evelios or champions like that. And I have an accuracy tank. The rest of the builds are usually quite specific, and so I didn't save them. But this helps when you're trying to build 15 teams. You just go through them and you save your sets that you're going to reuse pretty much in each of the bosses. So, like as we said, with the tunnel clock, so to help remove another buff. Now, the third one, I was running out of options for block buff. I could have built, there is Fira, I believe, that has a block buff on the battle skills. I didn't want to go that direction because I wanted to try something different over here. And I need, honestly, to tweak a little bit this comp because I don't think the Lilo is the right choice. I should have picked Parzival or maybe a healer over here. I'm struggling to get to 22 million. I had few runs getting over 22 millions and other failing. If you have an idea on how to improve this comp, please comment in the message down below. I will be happy to spitball some ideas with you guys and improve the teams together. I'm using Clovis for the decreased attack. He has the incense burner to try to get some decreased attack on a boss and take less damage. I'm using Hellminster to place the decreased attack. He has also the tunnel clock mantle. I have an enlightenment one that helps basically build a shield, place decreased attack, decreased defense, and decreased accuracy, which are 3 debuffs. So when he plays, he has 3 chances, proccing 50% to remove the buff. This helps. And I have also Clock Mantle on Biggs. Biggs plays a lot of debuff, a lot of burn. So every time he does, he has a 50% chance of removing something. And this basically helps keeping up with the boss. And even if you don't have a block buff, you can run something similar to this. Ratchis is my main DPS. It's built only for damage, no accuracy needed over here. It will explode the burns the breaks is going to bring and do the damage. When it comes to Lilo, Lilo does also burn explosion. It will take one of them basically. He doesn't do much, to be honest. I was hoping to basically increase the number of burns and do some damage minimal, but it doesn't work really as I want, and so I'm probably gonna swap him out for Parzival. Reason why, he brings let me see, actually, let's go here and burn is here. There you go. He has basically the hero skill deal 30% more damage when inflicted with burn, so he'll help build up the damage. He does a strike 3 times, placing burn on his battle skills, and he brings a 20% attack up for all burns alike. If I time this right, I will have it basically on Ratchis, and so I should be able to pump out more damage in a smaller amount of time. If that doesn't work, I might build someone like Kaleido to just bring some healing and keep the team running a little bit longer. That will do as well. Ratchis does most of the damage in this case anyway, and if we die around the 20 million, so I just need a little bit more on the damage side, on survivability time, and that would do. And that's what I'm going to do on this comp basically next week, because I have another week to think about it basically. And then we switch to the Radiant team. The Radiant team is pretty easy. My main Radiant team basically is this team plus Ardred, and it goes to do about 45 million roughly. I took out Ardred and tested first, and it still do more than 22 million. As a matter of fact, 22 million comes in 2.5 minutes. So because the boss in the beginning is not hitting the hard, you still do the same amount of damage basically. You don't need that extra survivability. Ardred just do that, and so even if the run ends shorter, you can still reach the 22 millions. Once I was building and testing my Aura team, I've built also my Rally, and they were doing similar damage, a little bit less than Aura on this boss, and so the next team is basically the same. I brought in Alvis at level 30 for the Aura. He has an attack aura in all battles, and so it will help over here. And then I built basically the rest of the team with the multi-hits. We'll do the decreased defense, the 2 DPS, will give rally basically to Huber, and then have Catherine to basically keep the team alive. She has the gatekeeper stuff, all those good things, which are honestly almost not needed, to be honest. You can do this with epic gear. It's probably just a bit more finicky. You need to work more on your gear. You need maybe to build an extra champions to run a 5 champion instead of 4 like I'm doing. But you're still gonna be able to do 22 million pretty easily with this comp and this boss and this on this boss. They are all very, very easy. On this one, I have the aura from Carrot, I believe. She has, no, I'm wrong. It's actually Narzilla that has the aura 24 in all battles, which I can use. I've been trying to get an aura working on each team. In this one, I have a Ratchis. On this one here, I have Foley. And on the first one, I brought Nissa, as I said, half build to 30 just to give the aura. So if you see that you have your damage going, don't go overboard. Just build the champion to the point where you can unlock the aura and you will be good to go. Next team up is going to be Lightning, last boss. My Lightning team is doing around 100 million. I'm using basically this team plus Nathaniel in this place, and I'm going all the full 5 minutes, doing around 100 million. So what I did over here, took off Nathaniel, and I brought in Vex because I wanted to try her. She's the champion from the Pillar of Trial, Famiander, I don't remember right now, top of my head. And she has an ultimate that basically plays debuff immunity for 10 seconds. And I can push this one down to less than 18 seconds to keep up with a boss with the Hourglass. And so I'm using her basically to deal with the boss battle skills. And it doesn't matter what it does, basically. We still have so much damage over here that we basically overpower the boss in less than 2 minutes. We already doing minute and a half, I believe. We're already doing 22 million with this comp. And so I could really easily run this comp with nobody except, but I wanted to try this champion. And so here I am. The other boss, the other comp instead, it's built with basically 3 epic dauntless and Vanny as a tank. This one is quite interesting. I show you the placement as well. Nathaniel Vanny are over here. She has the gauntlet that make her heal. She's my highest attack, so the boss will target only those. These 2 melee will run at the front. Nimbus will stay at the back. E is the one placing the decreased defense because he has a multi-hit. And this comp basically run very, very smoothly. It's also like 2 minutes, probably a bit less than 2 minutes to get all the way to the 22 millions. As always, I use a DPS aura, not a defense one. And that is brought by Shagro. It has also the elite key from the Pillar of Trial. I can try something different, to be honest. It could probably use more something that enhance the damage from the battle skills, because his ultimates or everything counts as a battle skill. So I will probably try to swap that around. And the next boss up is going to be the Necromancer. And the Necrosis one, sorry, my comps on this one. My basic comp that I ran on the Otherworld exploration was pretty OP with Ozul and all the Shadow champion, Taldi, Asphalta, Quesita, Megan keeping everybody alive. And this would do over 100 million. So it's pretty easy to break it down and do it, make 2 or 3 comps work doing over 22 million. So what I did on this one, I took off Ozul basically, and I put in a filler, not even built. And I kept the rest exactly the same. I just moved the best DPS gear on Asphalta. And this one does easy 22 millions in 2 minutes. She does a lot of damage. Taldi keep up the defense and keep her basically cycling through her ability very, very quickly. So you build the damage so quick that you basically don't need anything else. Keep in mind we are still on Otherworld exploration, so I don't have any of the buff that will help even more when it comes to increasing damage. The second team, it's trying to mirror the same basically. I brought in Daphne. She's a 90, she's not even scroll. And she basically will boost the shadow for Ozul. I brought in Tia for the decreased defense. She has a very quick circle on her ultimate. She's not ideal because she has only a single hit and it's not a multi-hit. I could probably build another champion, but I had her already built, and so I tried to use her. I can move the crown and clean on Ripicus, but I want him to cycle through his ability much quicker. And this team still do very, very easily 2 minutes, 22 million damage, with Ozul obviously doing the job. I brought in Isitarian because he has the increased attack or battles 24%. As you can see, it's not even built, it's only 30. No gear on, he dies pretty quickly. I don't care about that, honestly. I can build him if I see that I struggle, but these are basically the basic line for what I'm going to do. And if I see there is anything that doesn't work, I'm gonna tweak around a little bit. The last team for the Necrosis boss is going to be an epic only one. And even on this one, I can probably tweak a few things around, especially on the artifact. I've built Kirza as a tank with accuracy. She has the Tundra set to be protected from damage. The boss is gonna hit only her. I'm using Estella, which is now an incredible healer, to be honest. She's not scroll because I don't have scroll left. But she's basically doing the extra healing and keeping the team going. I'm using Zarlot for the decreased defense. He is built as my accuracy DPS. I have his aura over here, 24 attack in all battles. And then I'm using Joyce and Zadok as a DPS. I have Joyce with a Manticore because his ultimate doesn't hit. And I'm using Zadok with the Rivatrix route. So just to boost a bit his attack when he's in battle. Being an epic, he benefits from the double stacking of HP and attack, and it has good damage. This comp does 22 million in just over 3 minutes. It's not crazy, but this is a comp that everybody can use. Basically, it's more accessible for sure than anything with a lot of legendaries. And so hopefully you guys have this champion and can replicate this one quite easily. We are moving then to the poison team, which is going to be basically the same that I'm running on the Otherworld exploration. This team does basically 30 million. I have no alternative to it, and I have no interest in trying building a poison team because they usually don't do that great, and I don't have Rook, so I can't push a lot of damage out of this one. I can't try to break it down and use this one as a basic team and build something around Rook to run another team. So I'm not going to care about it, to be honest. And I already have 15 teams, so this is basically going to be my only poison team. I don't have even an attack or DPS or over here. I don't have crit damage runes. Believe it or not, at this point of the season, I still don't have any crit damage runes for poison. It's just incredible. So we switch on to the next one, which is going to be the cold boss. On this one, I run, let me find it out so I show you what I'm running at the moment. My best team is this one, and this week did 107 million on a run that I did with gear optimization. Possibly I'm gonna be able to push this one a little bit more because I had a couple of good pieces dropping. But this teams of epic and rare can do over 100 million, which is pretty mind-blowing if you ask me. And so it's quite easy again to break it down and have a few teams to run with the same champions, and you can basically easily do more than 22 million. So I'm using Vikak, I'm using Gertin and Bledin. Bledin is going to be my decreased defense over here. I could build Vidimir to do that, to be honest. He has this bouncing ultimate that hits multiple times. He brings my attack aura over here. And he is not built, not gear or anything at the moment. I've done a mistake. I should built them to 30. I went all the way to 50. I'm still gonna do more than 22 millions in less than 2 minutes. So I really don't have any reason again to build more these champions. I can run it like this, and it's pretty easy. Vikuk has the puppeteer set to increase the defense of the champion next to him, and he has the hourglass, but you can use another artifact. I'm just trying to circle as fast as possible to his ultimate. That's pretty it. Geratin is built for DPS in damage. Rivetrix Root, my best DPS gear, and Bledin is in a DPS gear with enough accuracy to place the decreased defense from the Witch's Remain. That's pretty much it. And it's going to be a sort of theme through this comps, because the other one that is up here, it's with Nord and Sedic. I just finished building Eli because I want to use them here for the decreased defense. It might turn out to be useful at some point on the end game. So it's a champions that usually does good damage and help. I want to try him out. I always use Eli. Is one of the good rare, and so I built him. I have as a filler Rasran, which is a corrosion champion, but I'm using Eli attack aura over here, and this team can do over 22 million in about 3 minutes. So with Eli built, I'm trying to cut that down a little bit more. The second to last team is gonna use our new legendary, shiny legendary from the Otherworld exploration, Aladia. I've got her basically even without the bosses of the last week, and so I built her. I've tried to book her, but I still need a couple of legendary scrolls here, probably not needed at the moment. I'm gonna use it as it is. She has Crown and Clean. She's built with puppeteer set to help the team basically with the shield, and she plays a decreased attack. That's why I put also the Crown and Clean, because she plays passively decreased attack, but she has an ultimate to hit and do damage, and so I thought, why not just put a crown and trying to push out a little bit more damage. I have Rava built for damage with the Witch's Remain for placing the main decreased defense. Osha is my DPS user stuff, Rivetrix Root, DPS gear, and I have Exandra to keep the team healed up basically. Puppeteer set, Moonlight Mantle to increase the heals. Rava brings crit damage aura, which is enough for me to do this boss, and this team also do 22 million in around 3 minutes. Now the last team that I'm testing is this one. I need to work a little bit on this one because I'm struggling to get to 22 million. I get around 20 million at the moment, but as you can see, I can easily build a bit more damage from it. I could push Dritz to 99, for example, and squeeze more damage out of it. I can start building Durkuras to place the frost on the boss. He's gonna place the frost basically on battle skills and ultimate to help Dritz ignore more defense. And I could build Guardian to keep everyone health top up basically. I can build them up to 90, it probably is enough, and I can push Dritz to 99, and this will do the job basically, giving me those 22 million needed from 15 comps on day one. Now probably not gonna run 15 comps from day one. For the first few days I'm gonna try to get through the storyline of the basically the storyline and do the domains, which are also needed for the task. Give point. And so on the first day or 2 or 3, let's see as much it takes probably to push all the domains to the top, and then I'm gonna start running all my teams. So basically this gives me 3 days now to complete my team, plus whatever days I'm going to run less than 15 comps, and I'm gonna push for this event as much as I can. So even if I'm traveling, I'm already prepared. I just need to do minor tweak, and this should work throughout. I have to adjust a little bit the accuracy, as I've not really checked the accuracy level for all the champions to be sure that they're going to be reaching that accuracy needed for the placing the decreased defense or any buff that they need at that point. I'm pretty confident that is the easy part. The important part was to find comps that work. They do have the damage, they do have the aura, and they can survive a meaningful amount of time. I'm sure with the buff we're going to receive from our alliance, and whatever buff the boss will take basically on the next stage, this comp will still work. And so I hope that this run through all my teams is going to be useful for you guys. I'm going to keep grinding, getting a bit better gear possibly at this point, finalizing and building those last few champions needed. I believe it's probably three or four champions that I still need to tweak. So doesn't take long. A day or two running Goblin and Domain, and I'm done. And I'm gonna see you soon when we're gonna have the next stage. When the Otherworld exploration open, we're gonna have a look at the event, and I'm gonna give you some tips, if possible, to how to run the event. Hope you guys have been doing well. I would like to see your comments in the comments down below, what you're preparing to do, and how you're progressing for Otherworld exploration to the next phase. So guys, see you soon and stay well.